Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris and this is Restoration Rescue. So last week we came in and we have this whole side of the truck ready for primer. And now we need to get this side. We tried to start it up. Unfortunately, when it ran, it cut right off, which makes me think I pretty much need to rebuild this carburetor because I let so much dirt into it. But what we are doing today, we are not going to be handling that. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be pushing this thing out, cleaning out the garage, turning it around, and pushing it back in the opposite way. So that side can be our passenger side. So we can do some body work and get this side ready, or this side ready to look exactly like this. So we can work on getting this thing primed out in a couple weeks and getting it ready for its paint. Then we'll bring in doors, not today obviously, but upcoming we'll bring in doors and hood and get that all situated as well. We at some point need to get these front panels off of the truck so we can get them set up and ready for some paint. So let's go ahead, start pushing this thing out, flipping it around, and getting it back in here. All right, so this is looking pretty clean now. Obviously, the floor is still stained with every kind of fluid on earth. I think the EPA wants to have a chat with me just because we have oil, we have paint, we have everything you can imagine on my floor. This is the one issue that you run into when you work on asphalt. It really just stains and holds everything. Obviously, concrete will stain as well, but that's hopefully for our next garage, which I don't know when that's going to be. Hopefully not for a few years, as I would need to move, and I'm not quite ready for that yet. I have way too much stuff right now to move. I got 2 trucks. I got more cars all over the place to move and then build a garage. So what we're going to do now is I am going to pull this the rest of the way out. We are going to turn it around and we are going to back the truck in. That'll give us some room and put the welder, which is already on this side, instead of putting it up against the wall, because as you can see on that wall, I just have a load of stuff. I have boxes of parts. I have parts out. As that old commercial says, I have it out the wazoo. I have parts for my truck. I have parts for that truck. I have parts to the Z somewhere in one of these boxes. I know I have a pair of turbos that might be a plan for a project later somewhere in this garage, and I just am completely filled with parts. But like I said, what we're going to do now is I'm going to pull this thing the rest of the way out, and then we're going to work on backing it in, which might be a little bit of a process, but we'll get it in here. So after a lot of pushing, pulling, and a lot more pushing, we finally have this thing back in the garage. So did have a little bit of help from friends. We got it on the dollies as well. That made it a little bit easier, but it still was a little rough getting it turned around, especially because I did have to go on the front lawn. Once I got it off the front lawn and got it on the dollies, it just was a little bit of a pain pushing it because my asphalt is not level. So it's level. It is now in. It is parked. We are ready to start doing the body work on the passenger side. So you can maybe see, I've gotten very close to that side, so I have a lot of room over here. We still have our front panels I have to take off, get those in the back, and get working on painting that. And now I am thinking about what is coming up. The question is, and maybe you guys can help me, please comment below. Once I get this stuff done, get this ready and the car ready, do I do doors or do I do hood first? Doors, I think only just because I can drive without a hood. I can drive without doors and do the whole Jeep thing, but I just don't know which one I want to do first, because then I'll do one door and that'll probably take a couple weeks just because of the welding, and then I have to take apart the guts, where the hood should only take me about a week or two and then get it painted. So I just don't know what to do first, but let's go ahead. We're going to hop in and start doing some body work and getting some of this welding and grinding done on our passenger side. The driver's side, because the passenger side is done. So let's go ahead, hop in, start doing some grinding, do some welding, and do some more grinding, and get this thing ready for primer. All right, so this side needs a lot more attention than the other side, so this one may take a little bit longer. I was hoping to get it done a lot off camera, but there is a lot of work to do. So up here I have some welding to do. I have a little bit more welding and a little bit more grinding up here. I have a little bit more grinding in here and some welding to do. I also have under here, as well as the bottom of the door and back up here. And back here on the sail, I have some work to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to start down here at the very bottom over in the back. We're going to re-weld some stuff up and start grinding. So let's go break out the welder and do some welding. So after a few hours of work here, this panel is all set. So this is all smooth, nice and flat, as well as in here, and all the holes are taken care of. This is all good. Yeah, there's a little bit of a burn mark. That's okay right there, but this is looking smooth and feeling pretty good. So all the way up is feeling all right. I'm going to grind back up a little bit higher with all this filler, which needs to get rid of because that was here for this. And now it looks 100 times better. However, hold on. So back here looks absolutely atrocious. And some of that is the metal. And that's on me, not on the original cab. So the original cab is nice and smooth, except for probably right here. So what I need to do is I am going to probably go buy like a stud gun and start putting studs in here and just pulling this metal back out. Same as in here. In here, it got really, so it's like a big crater right here. And I'm not trying to put too much filler. So if I come in here, pop this dent out, pop this out, we should be all good to go. So I also want to get up in here and grind back some of this primer, but I do need to go purchase a stud gun, so I can't do right here today. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hop up and we're going to start working on the sail of this truck and getting the sail all taken care of so that we can get one step closer to getting the door frame all done. So the door frame does need a lot of work. I tried to do some of it off camera, but it's still a long process. Took a long time to get the other side, so we're gonna keep on working on this side so we can get both sides ready for some primer. So we have this ground down, as well as we got the very bottom and the whole sail panel done. So we also got this cab corner on the outside, on the body side, the door side complete. We still have the back here to do, but again, I'm gonna need to get a dent puller / a slide hammer. So there's the stud gun where you just zap it, puts the stud in, and then you pull it out. I definitely need to do that back here and a little bit more in the corner. I have a little bit of work left up here to do, as well as a lot of this door. So I'm only about, I don't have from here to here, at least here on this part is completely done. And from pretty much here to the bottom is completely done. So I need to get back into the front corner and do some more work there. Get that flush like we did on the back here. I have a lot in the cab corner to work with. I did a lot of repair here. This is the side where I had to cut it out completely, build the inner skeleton and the outer. Then we have all of the original door panel here to get done, and we have the outside. So in my mind, I think by the end or mid-March, we should be getting ready to do the first sets of primer on this cab for good. So we do all the primer, all of that, get this all set for paint, do a couple weeks of painting, getting this thing ready to go, getting the whole front half put together, and then, like I said last week, or like I said, I don't know whether or not I want to do the cab hood or if I want to do doors. Do I want to drive around a little Jeep style once I get the car built, or do I want to drive without a hood? I think in the safe place, I'm going to go with the hood first, and that's only because of money. Doors are going to cost a lot of money. I have 2 of the panels already, but I have to build the entire innards of the door, which is going to cost a little bit of money, and I need 2 different colors of paint. So I need the body color and I need the interior color. Yes, that's not too crazy, but the interior parts of the door are going to cost me a lot of money. So the hood is a lot of just patch panels, which I have metal around the shop, so I can get that put together. As for another update with the 454, I got the entire engine apart. It's ready to go to the machine shop, but I think first what I want to do is build the transmission and do a bunch of the suspension work to get this truck ready to go. So it has the original suspension still on it, and I think it needs a good old refresh. We're going to go around and do all of the suspension work, and we have a little bit of interior work, and then we have the body on that truck. That truck is pretty pristine the way it sits, but it still needs a little bit of love. So we'll be doing that in the upcoming weeks as well, probably more so in the summer. I'd love to have that thing running and driving by summer, and this thing running and driving in the summer, so we can enjoy both of them. But we have run out of time for today, as it is pitch black outside and it's time for me to go inside. We'll see you guys next week when we continue working on either of these projects, making it a little bit closer to driving one of these beasts down the road. So we'll see you guys next Saturday.